welcome to Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And today's tip is just part one of a 3-part series that we're going to be doing about acrylics. You guys over the years have had so many questions, and so many of like the same kinds of questions about acrylic use and mediums and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna try and knock down most of those questions right here in 3 pieces. Today, we're gonna call this one Prime with acrylics. We're going to be talking about priming your surfaces for acrylic painting. When you already have like pre-prepared canvas, it is likely already been applied with at least 2 coats of gesso. So you will see that they'll say things like double primed acrylic, canvas and stuff. Now, anything that is primed with an acrylic gesso would be suitable for use with acrylic paints and also with oils. So they can serve both functions. Traditional gesso is a primer that evens out the tone of generally the cotton duck that you're dealing with, or the linen underneath. So it provides an even toned surface for you to work on, and also regulates the moisture absorption from the paint that you're applying to it. So it's to keep the cotton absorbency from sucking up all of the binder and then causing problems later with the adherence of the paint. So the gesso kind of mediates all of that to give your paint a reliable surface to stick to. Now, some will say that gesso also can provide some help as a retentioner, like when your canvas gets a little bit loose. Yeah, but not a lot, in my opinion. I would say that in my experience, you would do better to fill up a bottle with hot water from the tap, like something that you would mist your plants with. Fill that bottle up with hot water from the tap and spray the back of your cotton canvas with that hot water. The hot water in conjunction with the cotton will cause the cotton to shrink up a little bit, and you'll get more retentioning effect from that than you will from the front face of your canvas being treated with the gesso. So, gesso can be sanded, so if you want to alter the texture or you want it to be super, super smooth, you can apply a coat, allow that to dry, sand it with a low grit sandpaper, wipe off the dust, and then apply another coat, and so on and so forth until infinity if you want to. I mean, you can go crazy if you want. But that acrylic that is the base of the gesso will serve to allow you to sand it and customize the texture however you want. Gesso is basically an acrylic polymer, so that serves as the binder that sticks to the surface in conjunction with a very large volume of white pigment, normally titanium. And so that is what is priming your surface and getting it all nice and smooth and even. And I have had people ask me, well then, like, what's clear gesso for? Clear gesso is also for controlling absorbency. Or let's say that you have an existing painting that you want to ensure your paint is going to stick to, but you have an underpainting that you feel is very successful. Or let's say maybe you're painting over a print, or you're painting over something that you printed out from your printer onto, like a hard surface or something like that. The clear gesso will allow that to still be visible from underneath, but allow your paint to adhere evenly. Because sometimes if you're printing on or painting on printed materials, sometimes the ink can become enlivened from the moisture of the paint and affect the color adherence and the color that you've already established and stuff like that. Whereas a clear gesso will mitigate all of that for you and allow you to paint easily onto the surface without worrying about disturbing what is underneath. So there's the not so eloquently presented answer to that question, but that is the primary focus for a clear gesso, what that is for. And then a black gesso, I've also had several customers ask about that. Black gesso is an acrylic polymer base with black pigment mixed in. And I like black gesso for dramatic effect. So whereas white gesso is kind of like the easy go-to, this is a power-packed punch of drama, and bright colors tend to pop off of a black gesso really easily. And for instance, like when I was doing some jacket painting previously, I found that the black gesso really worked well against the pale denim that I was working on, and allowed what I was painting to really like jump off of the surface better than the white did. So I had switched and like reprimed with the black gesso, and it's just really power packed, really intense dark, so it can be useful for covering large areas and, you know, keeping you from using a whole lot of your expensive paint for that dramatic effect, when you can just kind of lay that in easily with some black gesso. So those are some, you know, familiar, maybe you haven't tried them, but you've heard of a couple of these gesso primers for beginning with acrylic or oil. You can, because you can use these in conjunction as a substrate, you know, on your substrates for oil. And we hope that this answers some of your questions. Tune in for the next segment where we'll be talking about acrylic mediums, and we hope that you enjoy. Thanks for joining us for another installment of 2-Minute Art Tips right here at Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. We hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a little something. If so, give us a like, comment with your thoughts, and share with a friend. Subscribe below and don't miss a single 2-Minute Art Tips, and help us reach 150,000 subscribers. See you next time.